If you want to support this channel, it's simple. Whenever you need to make a purchase, access our affiliate links in the description from the affiliated stores. This simple gesture will help us a lot.
These questions and these thoughts are coming from a mindset which has grown in organized religions. We are not talking about Shiva versus somebody else, because that you refer to as Shiva includes all these things that you're talking about. Just one little dimension, this or that, they found out and they started talking about it and they became popular. I'm not trying to belittle them, they're all wonderful human beings who've done great service to humanity. But I'm saying, in terms of perception, there hasn't been another being like him. And perception is all that I value, and that's all you should value. Rest can be made up. Rest is just frills. So you're talking about Zen. What greater master of Zen than Shiva himself? That somebody comes, his own son, he doesn't get the point. You heard of Guiti, the Zen master? Guiti always did this. He'll be talking. People look at it, okay, why is he showing the finger to me? The thing is, he's always trying to say everything is one. This is the teaching. Rest of what I say is not important. This is the teaching. So there was a little boy, because in these Buddhist monasteries, Zen monasteries, little boys become monks, 4, 5-year-olds. So the little boy who's growing up in the monastery, he saw Guiti and, the boy takes to him. So this boy is going about. If anybody says anything, so Guiti watched this. He waited for him to become 16. One day he called the boy and he did this. The boy instinctively, because he's been doing it all over the place, he also did this. He took out a knife and chopped off his finger. And they say he attained. He suddenly saw the point, that it's not about one, it's about nothing. Shiva went further, long time ago. He came back from somewhere, he always carried a trishul. So trishul is a trident. He's always carrying the trident to show people there are 3 dimensions. Yourself, your way of being, what you know and what you do not know. And what you do not know rules, not what you know. So one day he came back after a long break. He's not seen this boy, his son. Now he's 10, 11 years of age. When Shiva came, this boy is carrying a little trident. With that he tries to stop him. He looked at him and took off his head, not his trident. Then whatever drama happened, and then he put another head, a Ghana's head on top of him, and he became such a brilliant boy. Even today in India, if people want to start education, anything, first thing is they will worship this boy, which that Ghana has become Gaja. A Ghana's head has become, instead of Ganesha, he's become Gajesha now. They kind of modified it and made it into an elephant head. But he became the very embodiment of intelligence and brilliance. They said there was nothing that he did not know. So that's the first act of Zen. So anything that you can talk of the world, talk in the world, nothing is left out of his life. He's so complex and so complete. And he did not have a teaching, he only had methods, that's the most important thing. Others have teachings. How many fingers can you cut? A method like this, can you employ? Can you go about employing this Goethe's method of cutting a finger? One boy's finger you caught and he got it. If you cut many fingers, you'll only have crippled people. Nothing would have happened. So, there is no teaching from Shiva, only methods. And the methods are 100% scientific in nature. He gave 108 ways and added another 6 and said 112 ways. 112 ways because there are 114 chakras in the body, 2 of them reside outside the physical body. He said, that realm is only for those who are beyond. For human beings, there are only 112 ways. And he showed clear methods as to how you can exploit these 112 dimensions of how this life is made. And each one, how you can… through each one of them you can realize. It's a beautiful story. When he was expounding the mechanics of life with the 7 sages, he had one witness. And that witness is not like Ananda Tirtha, she is Parvati. She's already realized. He taught her or he made her realize in a very intimate manner. But when the 7 sages sat, he went into a completely different dimension of exploration. So it was interesting for her. Something that happened to her so simply is such a complex process. So as he went about expounding different dimensions, he said, there are 112 ways in which a human being can attain. She being a woman, she being realized, and above all, she being the wife. She said, why only 112? There must be more ways. He was looking at the mechanics of life, exploring things. He's not giving a teaching, he's not giving a philosophy. As he was exploring, he saw this as a disturbance. He waved it aside. He said, there are only 112. Because you are going through something and somebody makes a comment which is a personal comment, a whimsical comment. There are only 112. She says, I will find more. He said, you go and find. Then she went. She's already realized, she's trying to explore different ways to find it. After, they say, many years of sadhana, she came back. He was still talking to the Saptarishis or the 7 sages. She being his wife, she can come and sit beside him. But she came and sat 1 step below. She did not want the sages to know, but she wanted him to know that she's failed. She just came and sat 1 step below to indicate that whatever challenge she threw, she's failed. So she did not want the others to know, but she wanted him to know. So there are 112 different ways. What Shiva is talking is mechanics of life, no philosophy, no teaching, no social relevance, simply science. Social relevance we add just to make it… rounding it off, otherwise it's too scientific. From this science, individual masters make technology out of it. He did not give technology, he just gave the science of it. The technologies that you are enjoying today, either in the form of a smartphone or a computer or some other gadget that you're using, there is a science behind it. That science is not relevant to you. You are only using the technology. But if somebody had not grasped the science, you would not have the technology. The algorithms that go into the making of a simple software is very complex. Sometimes you got your email in a coded form, did you see? You can't figure out, is this what I typed? It is all kinds of gibberish. But for somebody else it makes sense. Because of that, it is going. Now, here we are just using sound waves. If I speak, these amplifiers are just amplifying the sound that I create and it's traveling as sound waves. But suppose I spoke to you on a phone, then what I speak is not going as sound waves, it's becoming electromagnetic waves, going there and reconverting themselves. So when it's traveling from here, you speak on a cell phone, it's traveling from here to Bangalore, it is not going as sound waves, it's become something else. If you hear that, if you can, or if you feel that, it would be something totally different. But some other instrument once again converts it into sound waves the way you can understand. So what Shiva said is simply pure science. He's not talking technology. He left it to the Saptarishis to make the technology as it would suit the people who would sit in front of him on that day. Depending upon what kind of gadget we need, we produce that, but the fundamental science is the same thing, isn't it? Nothing has changed about that. So, I'm talking about Shiva all the time because it is the science. The tech is not important. It's the science which is important. Tech can be made up. Technology is a made-up thing. Because there is a fundamental science, using that we're making something out of it. Gadgets that are relevant today may be irrelevant tomorrow. Already it's happened, isn't it? So many things. So many gadgets that we thought were very valuable, no more valuable because new gadgets have come, but the same science. So what kind of gadgets we produce simply depends upon who is sitting in front of you right now, what is the need of the hour. So in this context, there is a very, very, very big difference between what you refer to as the Adi Yogi and all the other names that you're mentioning. They're all technology people. They grasped one aspect of it and they made a certain technology for people who are sitting in front of them at that moment. It worked for the people, so that's all that matters at that moment. But we are looking at Adi Yogi as the fundamental science. It's important at a time like this. At a time like this when humanity is in the kind of state that it is for various reasons, it's important, the essential science of it is strengthened. See, sleep is not a requirement in one's life. What the body requires is rest. Sleep is just one form of rest. Lot of people are beginning to think, in Tamil Nadu if somebody says, rest pannikaranga, means they're sleeping. Need not be, you can sit and rest, isn't it? Yes? You can stand and also rest. You're running, if you stand, doesn't it feel like rest? You're standing, if you sit down, doesn't it feel like rest? There are many ways of resting. The most important thing is, rest means you're changing the energy equation where consumption is lowered, production is going on at the same pace. So after a period of time, you feel rejuvenated because consumption has been lowered. Essentially, you're managing the energy equation. If you're in activity, the consumption is more. Whatever you're producing, it's not enough. After some time, you feel exhausted because the consumption has been heavy. If you lower the consumption and increase the production, after some time you feel energized. Suppose you're running. If you run a mile, after that you can't take another step, let's say. Oh, many of you have been running for Isha marathons, Isha Vidya marathons. After 42 kilometers, all right. Whenever. After a mile or two, you can't take another step. Don't eat anything, don't drink anything. Just sit down for 10 minutes. Again you find rejuvenated, isn't it? All you have done is lower the consumption, production is still at the same level. So now there are ways to lower the consumption and increase the productivity also. So if you come to a certain state of ease, when I say ease, it's not something that most people will ever understand, because most people are not at ease. If you're at total ease, if the system is at total ease, everything is at ease. It is well rested, always it is rested. Because it's so rested throughout the day, if you sleep in the afternoon, do you see you can't sleep much in the night? Yes? Oh, you always experimenting? If you sleep in the afternoon, you can't sleep much in the night unless you're sick or you're very tired because of something. Because it's well rested in the day, it can't sleep in the night. So you don't have to necessarily sleep. If you sit here also, if your body is resting, you will see your sleep quota will naturally shrink. How to increase the quality of sleep? Don't try to increase the quality of sleep. The ideal way to live is, there is no sleep in my life. But that's not possible right now, still body has some inertia. So it sleeps minimum. Rest of the time, it is at ease. If you keep this at ease, then sleep does not occur to the body unless it comes to a certain point of exhaustion. So body is never ever asking for sleep, but it is definitely asking for rest. If you do not know how to sit here in a restful manner, it will try to rest like this. If you can sit here totally at ease, it'll sit here for hours without falling asleep. Otherwise, this is the only way it knows how to rest. So do not try to increase the quality of sleep, there's no such thing. Just learn to keep your body restful and at ease consciously. If you sit here now, one simple thing you can do is you sit down, you come and sit down here, just move your attention from the top of your head down to your toes and see if everything is loose and easy and relaxed and at ease. Are you sitting like this? Just sit, just bring this to ease as much as you can. Not everything is in your conscious level. As much as you can consciously, bring it to ease. You will see suddenly, if you are the kind who'll fall asleep at 10 o'clock, if you simply 1 hour you sit here at ease, you will see your sleep will get postponed by half an hour. You won't feel sleepy at 10. Naturally you're awake. So instead of trying to increase the sleep quality, now you increase the quality of life. If you increase the quality of life, when I say increasing the quality of life, Nothing in your life, whatever you may be doing, from simple breathing to any complex activity that you do in your life, the quality of that will not improve if you cannot do it with ease. Is that so? Only when you can do something with total ease. Let's say you're riding a bicycle. If you're riding like this, you can't say you're enjoying your cycling. If you can ride it with ease, with so much ease that even if you take off your hands, it'll go only straight, the way you want it to go. You're at ease. Because that you're at ease, the quality of your cycling has improved, isn't it? So these two things are connected. So if you enhance the quality of your life, naturally sleep quota will go down. If the quality of your life goes bad, you can't do anything with ease, then also you cannot sleep. But stressfully you cannot sleep. Not because you're well rested you cannot sleep, you cannot sleep because you're stressed out. If you do this, you will not live long. If your body does not get enough rest, it will die, it will break, something will go. If you are not at ease, that means you are in dis-ease. You're heading there. You are in dis-ease means you're in a certain state of ill health. But if we say you're deceased, that means you're dead. So don't stay into the direction of disease, move into the direction of ease. If you become totally ease, sleep quota will come down. Quality of sleep will be good because quality of life is good. You want to increase only the quality of your sleep, life does not work like that. If you wake up well in the morning, you will also sleep well in the night. There's a whole lot of systems. To give this to people, in the Eastern cultures, in India particularly, all the systems are built into one's life. Of course, they're throwing it away because they all became modern. Modern means to be distressed, constantly in tension, agitated, worked up about everything, that means you're really modern. Otherwise, traditionally, all these things were built in. From morning when you wake up till you go to sleep, what you should do, how you should handle yourself, all these things were fixed. Till the beginning of this generation, everybody was aware, suddenly they all became English educated and they become modern and tense. Otherwise, this was called achara vichara, what to do, what not to do. Everything is built from morning to night, all aspects of life, how to do it. If you do it like that, so that you can do everything with ease, as much ease as possible. So those who are not able to dedicate their life to yoga and spiritual process, for them it was built into natural culture, at least this much ease you know, so that you wake up happily and go to sleep and sleep well. Even today, this is a thing that they will say in India. If people say, what's happened, this happened, that happened in my life, they say, that's okay, but in my life, if I lie down, I sleep well. He might have made so much money, it's okay, but I sleep well. You hear this? People say this part of the cultural expression. I sleep well means I'm living well. Only because I live well, I can sleep well. If I'm not living well, I cannot sleep well. So do not try to improve the quality of your sleep, improve the quality of your life, then you will naturally sleep well also. All you need to do is just be the way you want to be. How do you want to be? That's all. It's that simple, but it's also that far away. Isn't it? It's that simple. After all, you want to be joyful, just be that way, who's stopping you? No, they're doing this. See, now, you don't want them to do what they want to do, but you want to do what you want to do. This is a problem. If you want to do what you want to do, you must also be okay with everybody doing what they want to do. That's the only way, because freedom is a two-way stream, isn't it? Yes? Now, is somebody physically torturing you? If that is so, you come, we'll take you away. Because then you need to be protected. Nobody is physically torturing you, they're just doing what they want to do, they're saying what they want to say. Are they just saying just what they know? Isn't it? So, who is causing the mess within you? Yourself. Because somewhere you believe if you become angry, if you become miserable, it may pay off. And it does sometimes. If there are more miserable people around you who value your misery, it pays off, isn't it? Yes? If you act miserable in the house, you get many things. If you're joyful, maybe you don't get. Isn't it so? So you learn the trick. But what you need to understand is the trick is double-edged. If you're miserable, whatever the hell you get, it doesn't mean anything. If you're joyful, you don't get anything, so who cares? So, this is not just your trick. Everybody around you has always been playing this trick. And you thought that's the way. But what is it that you want? You want to be joyful or miserable? So just be the way you want to be. Does it infringe on anybody? Does it infringe on anybody? No. Now I want to smoke. If I do, now this is going to cause some disturbance to somebody. I want to just be happy. Is it infringing on anybody's anything? Is it, I'm asking? So you be the way you want to be, who's stopping you? You cannot do whatever you want to do, but you can be the way you want to be, isn't it? Yes? Can anybody stop you? Others need not even know that you're joyful. If they like a miserable face, give it to them. If they like miserable faces, give it to them, but you can still be joyful, isn't it? Right now we'll experiment, okay? Right now a lot of faces are looking joyful. I want you to maintain the same joy and look miserable. Do it now. Do it now. Let me see. You don't smile at me. Show me a miserable face being joyful within you. You must practice. Please do it. See, this will be needed in your home. If you're all the time ha 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 ha, they'll go crazy. Sometimes they expect a miserable face. What's so spiritual about you, all this damn yoga, he, and all? What's the problem? Action should be the way the situation demands. Have I not been insisting on this all the time? But you tell me, which is first? Your way of being is first or action is first? Which comes first? Your way of being. So if you say, I want to be joyful, establish that. Action, as the situation demands. Some people like misery, some people like laughter, some people like crying. Do it. I do everything. Please practice life in the satsang, that's why you're here. Encounter with truth, you know. It should happen here, not after you go home. What I'm telling you is, everything that you do is actually act, isn't it so? Either you do it consciously or you do it compulsively. If you do it compulsively, you think it's real. But actually it's an act, isn't it so? Everything is cooked up in your head, isn't it, whatever you do? So it's anyway an act. So do you want to do it consciously or do you want to do it compulsively? That's all the choice is. So you do it compulsively and you think it's real, it's a foolish way to exist. It's anyway an act, at least do it consciously, then life will be beautiful. If you do it compulsively, it looks like a trap. It's not a trap. Life is not a trap, because the exit is always there, wide open. Yes or no? Yes or no? Life is not a trap. The exit is always open. Everybody is trying to dodge the exit. No? So, if the exit was closed, only then you can call it a trap, isn't it? The exit is always wide open. One moment if you don't take care, you'll be dead. The exit is wide open. Your whole life is to somehow not to reach the exit. Isn't it so? So it is not a trap. It is just that if you think that your acts are all real, then it feels like a trap. Whatever you think, feel and do is your act, isn't it so? Yes or no? When you do not realize it's your act, you think it's God-given instructions. You'll start hearing voices. When you hear voices, it's very clear you need treatment. So, if you ask this one, this wants to be as pleasant as possible, isn't it? Yes? You want to know the highest state of pleasantness, isn't it so? So who is stopping you? No, but they're doing this. They're doing what they like. You be the way you want to be. If you establish your way of being, then whatever you do is just a question of the situation. Depending on what kind of situations when they exist, accordingly we act. No, I want to do my own thing. There is no your own thing. No, I want to become an IT professional. There is no such damn thing. Because you're born today in India, you are thinking of IT professional. Suppose you were born here 1,000 years ago, you would be thinking of fishing in the ocean, isn't it? Yes or no? Action is as the situation demands and offers, isn't it? How to be is yours. If you've decided how to be that way, perform action as it is necessary. Then, if you have a demon for your partner, that's the best thing. But your partner, your husband, wife is not just about spiritual growth, you also want to have a pleasant life in the family. Then you have to choose someone whom you like, but any human being on the planet, there is something that you don't like about them, isn't it so? So you use that part of it for your spiritual growth, and the rest of it you enjoy. Just as life. So if your intention is to have a good family, then some rapport is needed between two people, otherwise it won't work. Especially if you have produced children, then rapport is must, otherwise you'll foul the new life that's come up. If you create a foul atmosphere, you'll foul up the new life that is coming up. Nobody has any right to do that actually, but people are doing it. But no human being has any right… You can mess yourself up as much as you want, that's up to you. But you can't mess up a fresh life that's just coming up. So, if you're looking for good life, family life, then one has to find rapport. And that rapport means some areas of commonality at least. But if you're looking for spiritual life, it doesn't matter what kind of person he is, you can use everything for your growth. Everything for your growth, if that's all your focus is. But generally your focus is both ways, you want to have a little bit of that and a little bit of this. So mixed fare. Just yesterday the other day I just went out in the rain, I went out and it started raining and I was carrying both my India phones because I was expecting some calls and one is India, one is Europe, one is America, 3 phones I had. One I had in my jacket, other in my trouser pockets, and by the time I got here it got wet and both the phones just burnt up. Then people around me were telling me, Sadhguru, why carry 2 phones? Now we can have 2 SIM cards in one phone. If you hold it like this, you can speak on the India SIM card. If you turn it around, it just shifts into the other SIM card. You don't have to switch anything, just this way it handles one SIM card. If you turn it around, it handles another SIM card. You have to become like this. I was very suspicious of this phone, I didn't get it, but but you must become like this. If you wish to take people who are around you with you, if you want to walk alone, it's very easy. If you want to take people with you, then it takes a considerable amount of effort. When Gautama was asked this question, is it better to walk alone on the path or with a companion? He's not like me, he's dry. He said, it's better to walk alone than to walk with a fool. He's not saying don't walk with anybody, he's not saying don't have companions, but he said it's better to walk alone than walk with a fool. Because they can drain you, they can take such a lot of energy and time and you don't know, they may be stronger than you and they may take you their way than you taking them your way. There's every possibility, yes? So, I won't say what Gautama said. All I am saying is, it doesn't matter how you walk, as far as your spiritual process is concerned, anyway you're alone. Nobody is with you. It's only the bodily process, the material process of life, which you can share with people. You come alone and you go alone, isn't it? Even if you have a twin brother or a twin sister, you still come alone and go alone, isn't it so? So when it comes to the spirit, anyway, you walk alone. So don't mix that up. So that part of it you handle well, the material part of it according to your capability, to what extent you can do it, you do it. They come your way, it's wonderful. If they don't, it's all right, don't grudge them. It's just that you don't have to go that way. Maybe someday, when the doctor tells you your liver is in a bad state, he may seek divine, Yes. Have you seen people who are walking in the morning? Not everybody, there are certain type of people, these are all over 50, 55 age group people. They have become lean and they're walking briskly every day, religiously they are there. These are all people who generally had a cardiac problem. They almost died. Then their doctor told them, either you do this or you're gone. Now their walking is like a religion. Not Sunday morning, every morning. Have you seen those people? Suddenly they transform, they eat properly, they do everything properly because the fear of life and death has come. So different people need different kinds of impetus. If you're sensible, you learn by just looking. If you're not sensible, you learn by thrashing. Life will thrash you. The material part of your life is never 100% proper. It never can be, isn't it so? Is there any family which is a perfect family? Is there any relationship which is a perfect relationship? Is there any business which is a perfect business? Is there any career which is a perfect career? There is no such thing. Don't seek that. Your life will become wasteful and fanciful if you seek such things. They all happen to the extent you're capable of handling them, that's all. So, you make sure the spiritual part of your life, you handle it 100% properly.
Sir, in the Indian society, when something goes wrong, for let's say someone is not well, so there are three types of people. Ones who go to the hospital, then there are the ones who rush to the temples, and then there are the third ones who rush to the astrologers. So we are actually taught from the beginning that inanimate objects and things around us have the power to control our lives. For example, for example, my mother, when 2 to 3 years back, told me to wear a ring which had a gemstone. I still have it on, because, of course, because that's what mom has said. So
You need to take it off, otherwise the boys will think But good luck, you keep it in the pocket. If it's on your finger, they will think you're… See, human life is made in such a way, particularly human life. For all the animals, nature has fixed clear-cut path, what they can do, what they cannot do. Their lives happen between two lines. They cannot go below that, they cannot go above that. Within that they live. That's why they look so sure and certain, and they're peaceful. Once their stomach is full, they're all peaceful. Do you see this? Hello? Are you on talking terms with me or no? Do you see all the animals, once their stomach is full, they are peaceful. But human beings are thinking, or they're being taught that peace is the ultimate goal of life. A buffalo, full stomach, he sits peacefully. And for you, that is the ultimate goal, what a shame. What a buffalo can do with a stomach full of grass or whatever else he eats, you have to hold it as the ultimate goal. Is it not a shame, I'm asking you? But this is being taught like this, peace is the ultimate goal of your life. But coming to more fundamentals, if you're not peaceful today, can you enjoy your dinner today? No. Can you just enjoy walking down the street? Can you enjoy the company of a few people around you? No. If not ecstatic, at least you must be peaceful to enjoy anything in your life. So I'm asking, should it be the first step in your life or the last step in your life? Such people will only rest in peace. Now, do other things have influence on us, particularly inanimate objects? The gems and the diamonds and things like that, and also the planets. See, the nature of the planet has a certain influence on the life upon it. You will see on full moon days and new moon days, many animals behave in certain specific ways simply because they're influenced by it. You know the whole ocean is rising. Hmm? When ocean, which is millions and millions of tons of water, is able to rise, when 72% of your body is water, you think it won't rise at all? It does. So, I don't know if you're conscious of it, but in India, most people are, not only in India, in anywhere, wherever there are mental asylums and things, they are conscious of it. On full moon days and new moon days, people get exaggerated levels of disturbance in their minds. So people think new moon and full moon will cause madness. No, that's not the truth. If you're very loving, full moon day you will become more loving. If you're very joyful, on a full moon day you will become more joyful. If you're a little crazy, you'll get a little more crazy. Whatever is your quality gets little hyped on that day. So those who are romantic, they want full moon day. Those who want to meditate, they want full moon day. Those who are a little mad, they don't want full moon day. Essentially, it's hyping things up a little bit. Of course, today there is another kind of textbook science which is going on, which doesn't observe anything except what happens in the laboratory. These people are going on saying, this is all rubbish, this, that. No, if you pay attention to your own body, you will know, without looking up, without looking at the calendar, you will know when is full moon day, when is new moon day, by yourself, simply if you pay sufficient attention to your own system, because it's visible in your system. Certain behavior is there. But with a human being, the problem is, or people seeing it a problem, any possibility, if you do not explore that possibility, in your eyes, it looks like a problem. What is a problem is always a possibility, isn't it? You don't like it? What is a possibility? If you do not explore it, if you do not realize what is the possibility, it seems like a problem to you. So, do inanimate things have impact on you? Yes, if you allow it, because this is the human predicament that who you are is not determined by nature, it is left open for you. Left open for you means you are the only creature on this planet who's been given the freedom to shape your own life. Is it a small thing? This is a product of millions of years of evolution that today, after all these creatures from a single-celled animal, after these millions of forms, here we are sitting, this is the only creature which can shape its own life the way it wants. Every other creature has to live by the laws of nature. We can shape our own lives. It is this freedom that human beings are suffering. If you're suffering your bondage, it's all right. If you're suffering your freedom, you're a disaster, isn't it? You're suffering your bondages, you're chained to something, you're suffering that, understandable. But you're suffering because you're free. Most human beings are suffering because they're free. They're always trying to bind themselves to something or somebody all the time because freedom scares them. Because freedom is a pathless path. Freedom is an open terrain, there's no fixed line. Because there is no fixed pathway, most people feel terrified. But the highest value in human life is freedom, isn't it so? Hello? In this culture, the highest value in this culture is not God, not heaven. Mukti, moksha, liberation, freedom is the highest value. Established that no matter what you do, you must seek mukti. You can do whatever you do with your life, but all that process should be towards your liberation. You must be moving towards higher and higher levels of freedom on a daily basis. Otherwise, your life is not worth it because you're getting entangled with the process of life. Even if you go to heaven, it's an entanglement. See, I'm sure before you joined IIT, you're still keeping Bombay, right? I see. Before you joined IIT, when you have written your whatever entrance tests and stuff, only thing is somehow I want to get in, because it's like heaven, entering heaven. No matter what, I want to get in, that's the only thing I want. After you get in, see how many problems. I'm asking you a simple question. Being on this planet, do you have any proof that you are not already in heaven and making a mess out of it? Huh? Do you have any proof? Suppose you took off from the solar system and looked down at this solar system, whatever these 12, 14 planets and satellites and works. Does planet Earth definitely look like a heavenly body among all these? Yes or no? So you're already on heaven and making a mess out of it, and now you want to go to another heaven. This culture does not value heaven, does not value God, values only freedom. We want to be even free from the creation and the creator. Mukti, moksha is the ultimate value, because this is not a philosophical value, this is not a religious value, this is something every life is longing for. Only thing is, most human beings are short-sighted that they long for it in installments. See, whatever people are seeking right now, if they have nothing, they will say, if I get 100 rupees per day, Shiva, that's all I want, that's a prayer. 100 rupees fell. 100 rupees, fine, 3 days, 100 rupees, fine. 4th day, only 100 rupees, Shiva. What's the problem with you? Are you so stingy? At least 1,000 rupees a day. Okay, 1,000 rupee note, is it in legal tender, 1,000 rupee note? Huh? No, okay, 2,000 rupees fell. I don't want to get into trouble with that. Where is 1,000 rupees falling for Sadhguru? Where does he have? No, 2,000 rupees fell. You asked for 1,000, 2,000 fell. Wonderful Shiva, fantastic. After 10 days, only 2,000 rupees. It doesn't matter how much it falls, something more, isn't it? This is not about money. People think it's about money. People think it's about wealth, power, pleasure, love, knowledge. No, these are all different currencies. Essentially, you're looking for expansion because you feel suffocated. If we keep you in the same place for too long, you feel suffocated, you want expansion, you want to be something more all the time. Yes or no? Always something more. Will you settle with fulfillment? No, you will look at the other planets, you look at the new galaxies. So there is something within a human being which wants to expand limitlessly. That means it wants to be free, nothing else. Looking at this carefully, observing the nature of the life within, that it wants to expand in a limitless way, the only thing it is longing for is to become boundless. That means it's seeking freedom. That is why in this culture we established the highest value is mukti or moksha, which means liberation or freedom, not heaven, because heaven is just another place. Maybe little better accommodations, but same trouble after some time, isn't it?
How can we translate Gita, the philosophy of Krishna, into augmenting business in India?
I have not read the Gita, so I really have not. I'm sorry, because for me, my own vision has never failed me. So I always kept away from all scriptures because I didn't want to clutter myself with something or the other. The only thing that I learned and I continue to do is, if I look at something, if I look at a person, I know their past, present and future. That is the level of attention I'm paying to them. I don't look at like this. When I look at it completely, with all that I have. If you pay enough attention, there is nothing that will not yield. So I never had any reason or need to go looking for scriptures or something. With all respect and regard for them, it is not that I'm averse to it, it's just that I've not had the time. How this whole process started is, when I was very young, I realized that I just don't know anything. See, if you realize that you do not know, if it's a full-scale realization that you do not know anything, paying attention will be natural, because you know everything. You know this guy, you know this. There are assumptions and assumptions and assumptions. Well, I've used it in a different way, but even if you're doing business, even it's for business purposes, the only reason why one human being seems to be… all the opportunities seems to be going in his direction and not other people is simply because he is able to see and other people are not able to see. It's not that it's not there for others. One is able to see and others are not able to see. So essentially, a leader means that you're able to see something that others are not able to see. So, attention without intention, simply being attentive, that's what we were trying to do in the afternoon. Not paying attention to something, just practicing attention, a very heightened level of attention, where an unfocused attention, but when you focus it on something, just about anything has to yield, there is no other way to that attention. So, I always focused on enhancing and sharpening my attention, never on retention because what you gather is not you. Essentially, you know that you exist only because you have some sense of attention right now, isn't it? Suppose you fall asleep and you lose your attention, you do not even know that you exist. So the basis of your existence itself is attention. And this attention need not be mortgaged to anything. You just have to sharpen the attention. See, if you have a knife in your hands, there is no such thing that you have to cut only apples with this. If you have a sharp enough knife, you could cut anything that you want. But the important thing is the knife is sharp enough, so that your attention is keen enough, not for something or the other. If your attention has become very keen, if you wish to do a certain type of activity, you can successfully do it. I think I must say something about my own enterprises at one time. My enterprise started when I was 8 years of age. Because of a strange kind of pride in me, I never ever took a single rupee as a pocket money from my parents. I started making money when I was 6, 7 years of age. By 8, I was quite an accomplished entrepreneur. Simple things. Even today I'm known in Mysore because I caught snakes in everybody's houses. If I caught a snake, they gave me 25 rupees. In 1960s, 25 rupees is $1 million for a 7-year-old, 8-year-old kid. I was just on top of the world. So, there is a Food Research Institute, CFTRI. Every Saturday afternoon I went there, I caught 4 or 5 snakes. They measured it. I have to show it to you like this. If it's over 3 feet, I get 50 rupees. Less than 3 feet, I get 25 rupees. On an afternoon, I would make 100, 150 rupees. I don't know if you can imagine, 150 rupees for an 8, 10-year-old kid. in 1960s or 70s was like $1 million today. It was big. And I went to so many things, just about anything that came my way. I should tell you a little enterprise that I did which grew into a big business. After my university, where I learned nothing, but I passed. The only thing was, by then I had crisscrossed India on my motorcycle, and I suddenly realized when I went to the borders of India, they asked me for something other than my driving license. I did not even know that there was a passport. See, it's not like today. Today every child, maybe 3-year-old, 4-year-old kid knows he has to have a passport. I'm in my 20s, but I do not know that I need a passport. I went to the border and then they said, "Where is your passport?" I said, "What? I have a driving license." They said, "No, you need a passport." Then I turned back from Nepal border and came back on my motorcycle. So my only dream was, I'm going to just ride across the world. So I wanted to do something, I started kind of farming, commercial farming. I was making money. I thought I will do for 2 years and leave. But in the meantime, my entrepreneurship took off in so many different ways. Like this I went about. And then there was an industry coming up close by, they wanted to build a water treatment plant. I happened to know the person who was running the industry. I just went there and I wanted to meet him. I was sitting in his office, they were discussing something about a water treatment plant. I just heard this and they were looking at the drawings and stuff. Then I asked him, "Can I apply? Can I do this? Because it is close to my farm, can I do this?" He said, "No, this is very complex, there are some experts from Mumbai and Bangalore who will come and do it, you cannot do it." I said, "Give me a chance, let me see." I took the file from him, I went and read through everything. Then I went back to him after 3 days and said, "I can do this." He said, "Don't you do this, you're my friend. I don't want to do this." "No, just let me give the tender." So those days, there was something called as Navakarnataka bookstalls. They were selling only the Russian books. You used to get big literature books, you can get Lev Tolstoy's War and Peace for 2 rupees and engineering books for 1 rupee, 2 rupees, all hardbound books. I bought 10 books about water treatment plant, sat down in my farm and poured through this day and night. I made my own new design. I went there and I gave a tender for 1.76 lakhs. Mind you, this is 70s. And the closest tender was 32 lakhs. The highest tender was over 60 lakhs. He looked at this and said, "You are funny you're not going to do this." I said, "No, I can do it." He said, "No way you can do it. Look at this, the nearest tender is 32 lakhs and you're saying 1.76 lakhs. How will you do it?" I said, "Give me 1 more day." I went back again and poured through the books. I said, "I'll do it." Then he said, "It's 90 days, you must finish this and it must work. If it doesn't work, at your own cost, you must remove it, clean the site and go, and I will not give you a rupee of advance." I again went and poured through the books. I said, "I can do it." I completed this in a little over 70 days. I did this in 90,000+ rupees. In one shot, I made 80,000 rupees, just like that. People thought this is a hit. There my construction industry started. Raja Ramana was coming for RMP plant. He's just coming in a helicopter to see where the site is. There is no anybody there. I just went and met this engineer, he said he was breaking his head, "I don't know what to do, I have to mark the site." I said, "I've got pegs and white cloth I will just go and mark the site for you." I marked it, they paid me 38,000 rupees for a 15-minute job. I went on my motorcycle and just fixed it myself. Like this my enterprise started and we grew into a major construction company. We were going very big, but then I got enlightened, so I gave up.
Thank you Sadhguru for sharing that story.
Samantha, you're old enough for this. I'm not saying you're old, I said you're old enough. That, do you still expect the world to be fair to you?
That's why I'm asking this question.
That is…
Can I blame it on my past karma is what I'm asking.
I want the world to be fair to me is a schoolgirl question. By now you should know the world is not fair. It will not be fair to you. But if you dig deep into yourself and have a taste of life, not a taste of your thought and emotion, the taste of life that you are, then you will see life is not just fair, it's just fantastic. So, do you want fair life or fantastic life? You must decide.
I've noticed this, that beyond the material ego, there is now suddenly a widespread…
Who's this ego guy, your friend?
is all around me. And in my industry, the heights of it. So beyond the material ego, I've noticed there's now widespread spiritual ego. I've come across a lot of people who are now on a spiritual path, not you, Sadhguru, who consider themselves superior to people who are not on a spiritual path. How would you advise such people to ensure that they don't fall a prey to this new spiritual ego?
First we'll address this ego guy, okay? If you show me where it is, I'll fix it right now.
I wish I knew where it was, it just keeps coming suddenly.
So, you don't know where it is. The thing is just this, see, at certain moments, as a person, as a woman, you are a beautiful person, wonderful person, I mean. I'm sorry, I didn't say only at certain times you're beautiful, you're always beautiful, but certain times you're wonderful, all right? Certain moments maybe you're nasty, possible. So whenever you're nasty, you say, it's my ego. Why don't you say, it's me, I'm sometimes wonderful, sometimes nasty. If you see this, naturally nastiness will go down. But if you say, whenever you're nasty, Mr. Ego does this, and you don't know where he is, you don't know his address or ID, nor do you know his phone number, so how do you fix this guy? So everybody has this going in their life, because this is spiritual jargon without being spiritual is all over the place, particularly in India, because we have, 15, 20,000 years of spiritual history, so we know all the words, we know what Atma, Paramatma, this one, that one, Ahankara, everything we know, words only.
Words only, noted.
So we can just throw words like this and confuse the Western population quite a bit. Because if you come here, they'll say Mukti, Shakti, this one, that one, all kinds of things. I know a lot of people who've gone and set up spiritual centers in the West, particularly in America, because they just know one chant, just one chant. Okay, Asato Ma Sadgamaya, with this they run the whole thing. So unfortunately, spirituality, in some ways it's come there. It's come there because there is need in the society, there is not enough source. Because of that, people are manufacturing this here and there. This happened, a few years ago, 16 years ago, and I was in United States, and then somebody in the office, our office, told me, Sadhguru, did you know every day 100,000 people are typing out the word spiritual? I said, is that so? Type it out and see what comes out. Are we even there in the picture? They typed out spirituality. First thing that comes up is a spa in Mexico. You've been there. And the next thing that comes out is a call girl in Northern California. She has learned all that SEO. For everything she says spiritual, 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 108 times she uses the word spiritual on her website. You say spiritual, she comes up, number 2. I thought this is a shame. For thousands of years, anything spiritual means people looked east. East means India, that's what it meant. So I said we must start something, a spiritual gateway, that if people say if they seek spirituality, they must look towards India. Because this is one culture which has spent maximum amount of time exploring human consciousness and the mechanics of what a human being is, how this functions on the surface and its very core. How does this function? What can we do about it? This has been explored. I'm not saying this out of my Indian origin, I'm saying this after looking at the world closely, that nowhere else has it been looked at like this. So, I said, we must start a spiritual gateway, India, the spiritual gateway. I must tell you this, till about 15 years ago, I had not met a single guru in this country. I just did not meet, I was just busy doing my own work. I never thought I had to go and look for somebody, I had never been to any other ashram anywhere. And then I thought, okay, let me make an attempt, then I started making phone calls. They all received my call pretty well, and then I started visiting some people and started putting together. We had one meeting with 125 gurus. We made this thing that nobody talks about their philosophy. You keep your philosophy, this is just a meeting. This is just about how to enhance your ashram or your yoga center, whatever you have, how to enhance the quality. We will teach you management, we will teach you branding, we will teach you how to make a website, we will teach you how to present yourself to international community. Your philosophy, we don't touch, you don't touch mine, I don't touch yours. You do your own thing. Because that is the beauty of this culture, that it can exist in hundreds of forms, thousands of forms, and it's okay with us. So when I went about doing this, well, I met many wonderful people, but at the same time, at least 60 to 65%, it hurts me to say this, I found that if I walk into an airport or a golf course, I meet better men than in the so-called spiritual centers. Because it's full of jargon, no heart, no depth, no profoundness, simply one chant, one nonsense, one philosophy that they read somewhere. It's going on like this. This needs to change.
Stop.
So to bring this profoundness to people, as people get closer to me, I get harder and harder and harder. Those who are very close to me, I am bloody cruel. Yes, because just to bring integrity into spirituality is so hard. Because the moment they get spiritual, little, like you said, you're calling it spiritual ego, I call it spiritual airs. They get spiritual airs, air bubbles get in their head. Suddenly they start acting funny, they start saying things that don't exist, they start talking about nonsense that nobody understands. If you speak something, whatever nonsense you speak, people in front of you must understand, otherwise why the hell are you speaking? Because the purpose of speech is to make somebody understand what you're saying. No, if I say something that you don't understand, I become big, you become small. This is rubbish. This is going on for too long. So, this whole spirituality as a thing, unfortunately, has fallen on bad times, but slowly it is rising because people's longing is increasing. I must tell you this, 40 years ago when I first started the programs, in our engineering programs, in various different forms, 85% of the people used to come to the programs only for health problems. Only 12–15% came to know something. Today, over 90% of the people come because they want to know something, experience something. Only 8 to 10%. Only 8 to 10% are coming for health issues, which is a significant change in human consciousness. About this ego business, this is one thing we must settle. See, within you, is there only one person or two?
One.
You think one?
I'm going to go with one.
One. That means you're an individual. An individual means, the word individual comes from indivisible. You're not further divisible, that's good, you're an individual. If you are two, then you're either schizophrenic or possessed, psychiatrist or exorcist. Either a psychiatrist or an exorcist has to come. So this is very important, everybody settle this, that don't talk about Atma, Paramatma, ego, this one, that one. You are an individual. What kind are you? Are you a wonderful one or a nasty one? Fix the damn thing.
See you soon for more discoveries and learning. Don't forget to subscribe and invite your friends to be part of this community of mutual growth.